Welcome to the big final of Colonist.io Championship number 1. My name is Treeckosaurus, I'm the host of the tournament and I'll try to give you my insight on the plays that were made during the final. The players have already played 3 games so far in a Swish format to qualify for the semifinals, and the semifinal have been won by these players respectively. Let's have a look at who are in the final. At blue we have Bongboy. Bongboy is the only player who has won all of the games he has played today. At green we have Mufasa, who's kind of the underdog according to the community there. Their Leopard, I know him from King of Catan, he's a very skilled player, and Mike is Mike, I'll just call him Mike. As red is a really strong player as well. I was talking before the finals with all the creators of this platform, and he expected Mike to get the better of the other ones. So let's see who will actually take this final. Let's jump right into it. So we see a lot of ore, and the wheat is the 632, so that's quite rare. But there's also a lot of sheep, and the lumber is with 4, 4, 11 and 12 quite rare, and the brick is in a cluster. So I think this is a really interesting board, and the first spot taken by Bongboy is a pretty good one. 8, 5, 10 really gives him a lot of key resources. Also picks up the best ore and the second best wheat, and a lot of production with 8, 5, 10. There is a spot with more production, that's the 6, 5, 9, slightly above that. But I agree with picking this. You don't expect ore to be open. The 6, 5, 9 is a killer spot for another player in this game. The second pick was made by Mufasa, and he went for the 834, also picking up good ore, and lumber and wheat. Okay, I think this is pretty interesting. Maybe he considered that he didn't want to be locked out of wheat, because there's also the option to go for either the 8310 or the 659 or the 834 at the top. Yeah, interesting. I'm not sure whether this is the correct pick, but I'm also not sure whether it's the incorrect pick. You kinda want ore on this board for sure, and you want to settle on the 8 ore, otherwise other players will have a much faster mid to late game than you do. Or at least you want to have an option to go to there. If you, for example, build at the 3611 and build your road towards the 8310 for some reason that's open or a possibility, then you still have the option to get pretty good ore as well. Well, yeah, let's just have a look what the others will pick, because right now there's nothing to say. I guess the 659 will for sure be taken, and the ore spot at the top. I also think brick is a really key resource because it's pretty rare. And you also gotta make sure you get some good pores, because the wheat is not everyone will get great wheat gain in terms of numbers. Their Leopard is picking third. I expect either the 834 or the 659, but there's also the 694, and that's a spot that's really interesting. Generally the ore wheat sheep tends to beat the road game, but when everyone is going for ore wheat sheep, the road game might get undervalued. Okay, we see the pick from their Leopard, and he's going for the 834. With that, he's probably saying, okay, I can get the 6311 to go with that, because or the 910, because if you pick up double ore, you want to have good wheat and decent sheep to go with that for sure. I don't think he expects the 659 to still be open. And something you try to do as much as possible as the third player is that you want to have the rarest resource. And I agree with their Leopard that the ore is here the rarest resource. There's only one real good spot to pick up ore, and that was, well, either the 8310 or the 834. So I agree with Leo that picking the ore is the best here, because it's the rarest resource. And that has to do with the fact that, like, you can pick up sheep everywhere, you can pick up decent wheat gain at multiple spots, and you don't expect your opponent to pick like the both wheat spots. You don't expect the player to go for the 659 with the 3611. That's just too low ore gain to actually work. So if you make the estimated guess that the 659 with the 694 would be the pick for Mike, then he still has the option to go for the 3611, and he picks up good wheat and decent sheep gain, and also has a lot of ore. And because you have so much ore and red doesn't, you can effectively make trades. Okay, you can get I can get 2 resources, you get ore, and we both benefit from it. So I really like that. And I think the picks by Mike are just, exactly what I would have done in the correct order. Yeah, I like that. You have a lot of sheep, you try to cover this sheep into the 3-to-1 ports that are nearby. I assume you go for the 9-10 first over the 6-2, because it just gives a little bit more production and a little bit more wheat gain. With those sheeps and the 3-to-1 port, you try to get ore. Let's see what the others will pick before you can actually say whether this is like a winning spot or not. But this is what he could do. So now it's time for Leo's second settlement, and I assume this is gonna go to the 3611. What are the other options? Maybe the 9-10 is an option, but I think that's a little not enough wheat gain. You do have the 3-to-1 port, but I don't really see how that 3-to-1 port covers up for the lack of production that you would have on the 3611. And on the other hand, you also don't want to give such a good spot like the 3611 to another player. For example, Blue, who already plays ore wheat sheep, would have a great spot if he could get that as a second one. And indeed, Leo goes for the 3611. And he points his road towards the 3-to-1 port. Yeah, I think that makes sense. When you're playing ore wheat sheep, you just need to have... the first settlement spot needs to be somewhat good, but the last one, you just need to build somewhere. It doesn't really matter where you settle. Yeah, you just want to settle. It's not necessarily you need to have a good place to settle on. Because you just need 8 points and largest army to win. Or maybe even less when you pick up victory points. Like, you're just trying to get development cards and build cities and settlements. That's what you're all about. So next up is Mufasa. He lacks brick and sheep so far. I don't really see a spot where he can get all of them, so he'll have to decide what he will value more. You probably don't go with only these 3 resources. Okay, he's going for the 9, 10, 11, so he picks up a road with that. He might have some space, really depending on where Bong Boy is gonna go. Bong Boy, I assume Bong Boy wants more wheat, but there aren't really great options. Maybe the 6-3 is an option for that, but I don't really think that will cut it. A lot of awkward options. Maybe the 10-9, doubling up on that 10 wheat is good here. And really saying, okay, I go for the ore wheat sheep here. The 4-5-11 in the middle of the map is also still open. This is a really interesting one. Like I said before, Bong Boy has won all of his games today. I'm sure he will make the correct decision here with a lot of knowledge about the game and also the ultimate form. Okay, he's going for the 5-9-2 with the wheat port nearby. He does pick up an extra point of wheat, so that might be the consideration here. Also, the 5-9 gives him good brick production. What is a bit troubling for him here is that I'm not sure whether brick is really a rare resource in this game, because the lumber isn't that easy to get. And when lumber isn't easy to get, brick also gets worse, because you either need to trade it in, so you need ports for that, or you just gotta hope you can get some lumber to go with that. And we see Mufasa building 2 roads to the 4-5-11, which is a pretty good production spot, so pretty explosive start. Does cost a lot of resources, but when you get the 4-5-11 you do have a lot of possibilities, especially if you can build on the 5-10 as well and on the 6-3. I expect Mufasa to have no problem building settlements, because the sheep isn't that rare, because he will be able to trade sheep with Mike, probably. Picks up basically only sheep, so yeah, that would be really interesting. Bong Boy picked up a development card, which makes sense. It's also a debate where should you go for the city or for the development card, and in the spot Bong Boy is right now, I'm not sure. If you expect people will rob you, then I would go for the development card, and considering that the other players also know he won all of his games today, he might actually get robbed just because of that, but I'm not really convinced. Like, you gotta assume, in most cases I would go for city here first. Bong Boy decided he wanted to get the settlement. So let's have a look at what these trades. Okay, we see also a development card picked up by their Leopard. And when I say Leo, the Leopard, the Leopard, it's all just the same. I'm all the time referring to orange. So really, that's something with development cards. Because of the randomness, you're just going to assume, okay, it's probably a knight at the start of the game, and at the end of the game, you're just going to assume worst case it's a victory point. But there's so many possibilities. For example, the road building really makes it like, if you assume there's a road building in place, then let's have a look. Then, for example, green might be scared that Bong Boy cuts him off to the 5-10. So, yeah, Mike also rolls the 7. No, Bong Boy rolls the 7, but Mike just built a road to the 9-10. Bong Boy decided to block the 4 lumber, as he's proposing a trade. He robbed Mufasa from a card, and is actually giving a pretty big offer for lumber. Which makes sense, because he picks up pretty good. Okay, he trades 4-1 with the bank. Let's see if he can build a road. Yes, okay. He will try to go to the lumber port. That doesn't really do much for him, but if he can build there, he picks up more ore. So yeah, I guess that makes sense. I'm not sure whether you should go for a settlement first. I think this is a mistake, because your resource gain really tends to say, hey, I pick up a lot of ore, a lot of wheat, let's try to get a city first. This will double your resource gain on the 8-5-10, which is key because it's the best spot on the map probably, along with the 6-5-9 and the 9-6-4. Well, okay, yeah, it's one of the best spots. For example, you could have traded in your brick for wheat as well, or ore. So I think blue should have gone for a city here. That would help him more than this settlement. Because if you get a settlement on the 8 ore, you only double your ore gain. If you get a city, you double your ore, sheep and wheat gain. Leopard rolled a 4 and Mike rolled an 11, which picks up lumber and sheep. Is the 8 rolled? So when the 8 rolls, so many players get ore. Only Mike doesn't get it. So when the 8 rolls a lot, he is in a huge disadvantage. There's a 12 roll, so nobody picks up something. Mufasa wants to get a brick for ore. So that, and also lumber. It doesn't really matter for him which one. So that tells me he's trying to get a city here. I assume he has enough wheat then. I'm not sure whether the tree has rolled a lot, but... Okay, he can trade with Leo and gives 4-1 for wheat with the... Okay, smart move. He expected no one would trade him wheat, so he tries to get another ore and builds the settlement on the 4-5-11. Okay. This is a lot of production for a third settlement, so pretty happy with that. Leo decided to block the 10 wheat, so he could rob Bong Boy. Maybe he was trying to pick up wheat, because... Also, Mufasa didn't have any cards, so I guess I would have gone for the 8 ore. It rolled, so more ore in the game. And Bong Boy was able to get the settlement on the 8 ore. That makes this 8 ore such a great blocking target. Especially if you consider their Leopard getting the development card game going. If I were the Leopard, my first city would probably be on the 3611 because you pick up multiple resources you gain for the development cards. If you build it on the 834, you pick up even more ore, but ore gain isn't already a problem for you. Okay, Bong Boy proposes some trades. Mike responds with sheep for 2 ore. Okay, so this might be a 2 for 2 between, like, okay, it doesn't go down. Like in general, when you trade, you create an advantage for 2 of the 4 players. And if you're one of those 2, you generally make a better game plan. But you gotta consider, is giving the advantage to a certain player worth it? For example, you don't want to allow dear Leopard to snowball. When he gets a good start, then he is a good spot to take the game further because he picks up so much ore and the mid to late game will be fast for him anyways. Okay, no trade going down, and as a 3 rolled, so that picks up double ore for Leopard and 1 wheat for Mufasa, which are, well, gaining double ore is always key, and for Mufasa that 3 is key because the wheat is his only wheat gain outside of trades and 4-1s and robberies. Another 8. Bong Boy wants to give 4 cards for 2 wheat, so that would give him a city probably. I don't see this trade ever going down. This way you reveal as well what card you have. It doesn't seem like anyone is going to agree with this trade, as he's proposing some other trades as well, like 1-for-1s. Like you just already told people, okay, I have 4 cards, I want to trade for 2. Let's do a 1-for-1. Nah, that's not gonna happen. People has already seen, okay, he's willing to give me probably 3 cards for this 1 card. 3 ore for wheat and sheep, so that would give him a settlement. As he now trades 4 ore for a lumber. So he can build a road to the wheat board. Yes. And Mufasa rolled a 7. And Leo had to discard 4 ore. So that's a huge bummer for him. As, okay, Mufasa decided to block the 5 brick. Mufasa says, okay, Bong Boy, you're currently my biggest threat. It was already on the 10 wheat. I'm not gonna block my own 8 ore, so that I think that makes sense. So I'm just gonna put him on the 5 brick here. Yeah, makes sense. So Leo and Mufasa are going to trade ore for lumber. Or sheep for ore. Okay, this might go down, yeah. Mufasa and Leo traded. As Mufasa gets a city on the 834. I'm not sure what... So probably Leopard will now be able to build a settlement. Okay, then I think that's a mistake by Leo to give him that trade. If you can't build a settlement now, right now anyways. I know you need to have that brick, but you can get it in other ways as well. You could trade it with, for example, someone who is less threatening, or at the moment you can actually build something. And Mufasa robbed Bong Boy again. So Mufasa wants to give either a brick or wheat, or even brick or wheat for sheep. Doesn't seem like the trade is going down, and that's rare because Mike picks up a lot of sheep. Apparently this isn't the situation. Leo rolled a 7 and decides to block the 8 ore. And robs Mufasa. I think this is the correct play for sure. Mufasa's in the lead. Yeah, for sure. Picked up a lot of great settlement spots. Still has a lot of space available, and space is really key, especially as the road player. And I say he's the road player because he picks up double lumber and double brick as well. He picks up the most brick in the game, the most lumber in the game. But he also picks up the rest pretty well, except wheat. So if he gets a 3-for-1 port somewhere. as the 3 rolled. So such a key number for Mufasa. Is Leo... Okay, Leo and Mufasa traded wheat for sheep. So I assume there is going to be a settlement placed on a 411 right now. Okay, oh, so Mufasa is able to get 2 rows. In Leo's situation, I wouldn't trade with him right here, but maybe you have to. Mufasa is able to go to the 3-to-1 port. I find this decision really interesting. Do you go for, because he's saying, okay, I need a port to convert my resources into more wheat. Do I go for the 6 with the 3-to-1 port, which gives me the possibility to trade multiple resources into wheat? Or do I go for the brick port when I can just trade brick, which way more effectively, which I gain a lot of? No, right now with the 910, but in the future as well with the 510 probably. You do pick up more sheep as well if you build on the 6, but you pick up more wheat, which is the resource you're looking for if you build on the 3. So I'm not sure which one is the correct. In the tournament chat, someone whom opinion I respected said the 6-2 or the 6 with the 3-to-1 port is the correct play for sure. I'm not sure about what is the correct play here. And maybe you have different options as well. This is worth debating for sure, but I'm not sure whether what is the correct play. Fact is that Mufasa decides to go for the 6 with the 3-to-1 port, and he still has 5 cards in hand. So Leo just rolled the 6, got a weed, which he just traded for, I guess. Quite sure he just traded for that. Okay, so Leo got a city instead of a settlement. Also Mike got a settlement on a 9-10. So it's a pretty close game for the 2nd spot right now, but Mufasa is definitely in the lead right now. Another 8, but for Mufasa and Bong Boy it's blocked. So Leo is the only one picking it up. But Mufasa got his another settlement at the 3-to-1 port. Now he's, I guess he is unstoppable right now. He will pick up road eventually, giving him 7 victory points. Still has a lot of space to build more road, and the city isn't impossible for him to get as well, because he has this 8 ore, he has the ports. Let's see what will happen right here. One thing he does need to keep in mind is that every player will start robbing him right now if they weren't already doing that. And there's still development cards in the game. Leo has 2 cards, Bong Boy has a development card, which probably isn't a knight, because he would have used it by now. A decision I always find interesting: do you go for a city first or for a knight of a city or a settlement first? Like, an advantage of building settlements first is that you make sure you can get the space and others don't. Preference of city is that you double your resource gain on a very strong number, if you've done your initial settlements right. So Leo also got his settlement at the 411 and the 3-to-1 port. So now he's more easily able to pick up brick, and also if the 6 wheat is blocked, then he is able to, but I don't expect the 6 wheat to be blocked because he is the one with the most amount of development cards. So Mufasa rolled a 7, so this 8 ore will be unblocked. As he decides to block Mike and Bong Boy at 10 wheat, and I think this is a correct play, considering their Leopard is the one with the 2 development cards. Let's see if Mike also has a development card. Leo decides to not use it. This 8 ore needs to be blocked. Yeah, okay, so Mike used his knight. Yeah, okay. So as the 9 rolled, a lot of brick is picked up for all players except Leopard. And there's also a lot of sheep for Mike. But Mike is a little bit landlocked. Well, not really, but you have to go to pretty mediocre spots like the the 9-12 or the 11-12 eventually. Or maybe the double up on the 10 wheat is also a possibility. I don't see you're going for the wheat, the 2 wheat. Leopard and Mike are trying to get something going. But it doesn't look like that's going down. So Mike decided to trade with the bank. Bongboy rolled a 6. Then he picked up wheat and sheep. Well, everyone else did. So Bongboy is offering brick, but almost everyone has brick. So you would have to target. Leopard there, as the 6 wheat gets blocked by Mufasa. He rolled a lot of 7s already. I assume he's quite happy with that, because he doesn't have the development cards, so the knights to protect his ore with. Then rolled wheat and brick in the game. Really interesting to see who is the biggest contender to Mufasa right now. So Mufasa has already 6 points on board, with the potential to go for road quite easily. So that would be 8. And a settlement on either the 5-10 or maybe the 2 wheat. It doesn't really matter where you build right now, because Mufasa's already in the ending stage. So really ran away with the game right now. 2 brick for double lumber. Doesn't seem like this trade is going down, but Bongboy is trying to get lumber. But the problem is that lumber is such a rare resource right now, and that's really the difficult situation Bongboy is right now, because he does pick up a lot of brick, but he can't really do anything with it. Water one trade, so maybe he can get the settlement down at the wheat port. That would help him a lot, but not even that much, because you need that wheat anyways. Okay, so Mufasa is pulling the trigger and decided to get the road, as he is at 8 victory points right now. So really close to taking the prize pool, because this is the game where all the prize money gets shared and decided between these players. The winner takes, I think it's about 40% of it, and the other 60% is shared between the other 3 players, the other finalists. So Mike is I think he has such good spots, but it just doesn't work out this game. He does get a city at the 694, which picks up more roads for him, so I agree with the city on the 694 and over the 659, even though the 659 is more production. Bongboy is trying to get some 2 for 2 trades in right here. Yeah, the only thing you can do against Mufasa right now is block him everywhere you can and make effective trades with the other players, and try to help each other get back in the game. And then when everyone is in a okay position, or someone is, then you can try to think about winning the game. And that's like the really cool stuff when you play online but you know each other. You can know, can I trust this person, or will he make trades, or will she make trades? And that's something I really like at playing online, because you have the possibility to play always whenever you want. And also you have the possibility to play in tournaments like this, like King of Catan, where you can play against players you get to know them, and that's really cool. So Bongboy, yeah, okay, Bongboy is just randomly trying to get some trades in, and as he built a road. Mufasa, yeah. For Mufasa, just get resources, use them. Okay, this is a really smart move by the Leopard, because now Mufasa has to do another road, and maybe Bongboy is able to get a settlement on the 5 brick. So then Mufasa needs to do 2 more roads to build the settlement on the sand tile. 2 ore for sheep. I love what Bong Boy is trying to do. Every turn he's trying to get trades in. Okay, he gets the settlement down. So now Mufasa needs more time and needs more resources before he can do something again. I really like this cooperation between the Leopard and Bong Boy. And I think the Leopard, if he gets... Well, he has already used one knight. If this other one is a knight as well, and he picks up another, he'll be at 7 victory points. So maybe, just maybe, he's not lost after all. So Mike and their Leopard trying to make some trades here. Wheat for 2 ore. Doesn't seem like anything is really happening, but... Okay, the trade got down. 2 ore for a wheat. So Mike is the one picking up 2 ore, and Leo picked up wheat. No, Leo trades with the bank. Is he able to get a city here? Yes, he is at the 834, and he also gets a development card. So now Leopard might be back in the game. 2 roads from Mike, trying to double up on the 10 wheat. Yeah, I think this is the correct spot to go for. As he blocked the lumber, interesting. So you're trying to make it difficult for Mufasa, and I'm not sure. I would have gone for the 3 wheat here. You're not really scared of those roads. You're not going to take a road anyways from him. I would just make it as difficult as possible with blocking the 8 ore and the 3 wheat to get those extra victory points. Another development card. Yeah, okay, now the 3 wheat is gonna be blocked by Leopard. Why not block the 8 ore right now? Okay, now I would have gone for the 8 ore, but I don't necessarily disagree with the 3 wheat. It's his only points of wheat gain, so yeah, for sure, you want to block it. As Leopard picks up more. If he has 1 knight and 2 victory points in hand right now, activating a knight would win him the game. Holy cow, this guy, the Leopard has had so many explosive turns the past few. Mike is looking for a way to get that settlement on the 10 wheat for sure, as he tries to trade with the bank at 3-1 for wheat. Oh, he actually is trying to go for development cards, interesting. Maybe he's trying to go for the all victory point play or Monopoly, that could help him a lot as well. Like 2 VPs in a Monopoly. I assume you're not gonna go for army because Leo might take that. Or maybe he's actually trying to play for a 2nd place, but that doesn't really matter anything. As Mufasa rolled another 7, as he blocks Leopard. I agree with this for sure. But maybe I would go for the 6 wheat here, because he picks up ore at 2 spots and wheat at 1. But it's not necessarily a mistake for sure. As Leopard redirects the knight back to the ore. So with 10 rolls, yeah. Let's see what Mufasa will try to do next. He did pick up a development card himself as well. Let's see what Mike picked up. Is he gonna use something? He used a knight here. And it's gonna go to their Leopard. Ooh, interesting. So he's saying, okay, Leo, you have more ore, you have more development cards, you're in a better spot than Mufasa right now. Settlement built by Bong Boy. But it's really between Mufasa and the Leopard right now. Really cool to see how Leopard got back into this game. At the start I was sure Mufasa had the game locked. So really cool. Ooh, a city by Mufasa, so that's 9. Okay, he won the game. So he also picked up a victory point last with that development card. GG to to the players, and thank you for watching and participating. If you want to see more high level Catan games with commentary, I recommend subscribing to this channel. I'm the host and creator of King of Catan, which is a tournament community I've built in the past 2 months, which is really starting to take off. You can also join the friendly and competitive Catan community. If you want to know how to do that, you can find it in the description below. Thank you for watching. I hope you liked the commentary, and I hope you have a great day.